Imagine you are 65 years old. You wake up in the morning feeling okay. Not great, not terrible, just okay. You go to the kitchen, you make your chai, you sit down at the table. You eat what you always eat. The same breakfast, the same routine, the same food you have been eating for maybe 20 years. And then within 1 hour, something happens. Your eyes start feeling heavy. Your body feels like it is carrying extra weight. Your brain goes foggy. You cannot focus. You feel like you need to lie down and you just woke up 2 hours ago. You think, maybe I did not sleep well. Maybe it is my blood pressure. Maybe this is just what getting older feels like. So you push through. You drink more chai, you rest a little. And by afternoon, you feel slightly better. And then tomorrow morning, the exact same thing happens again. Day after day, morning after morning. And nobody around you, not your family, not even your doctor during that 10-minute appointment, ever connects what you are eating in the morning to how you are feeling 1 hour later. But here is the truth that most people are never told. That exhaustion after breakfast is not normal. That brain fog is not just aging. That heaviness in your body after eating is your body sending you a very clear warning signal. And if that signal keeps getting ignored, the damage happening inside, quietly, slowly, every single morning, eventually shows up on your blood test, in your medication list, in your daily quality of life. This is happening to thousands of seniors every single morning, and the heartbreaking part is that most of them never get warned about it. If you are over 60 years old, or if you love someone who is a parent, a spouse, a sibling, please stay with this video until the end. Because what I'm about to share with you today is directly connected to your breakfast table, your morning routine, and habits that have felt completely harmless for decades. My name is Dr. David Morgan. I have spent years studying medical research focused specifically on aging, metabolism, blood sugar regulation, and chronic disease patterns in older adults. I have worked with patients over 60 who came to me confused, exhausted, and frustrated because they felt like they were doing everything right, eating what they thought was healthy, following routines they had trusted for decades, and still their blood sugar numbers kept climbing. Still, the fatigue would not go away. Still, something felt wrong and nobody could explain it clearly. And what I found, again and again, across hundreds of patients and thousands of hours of research, was the same pattern showing up every time. The foods that feel safe, the habits that feel responsible, the breakfast routines that feel completely normal. After a certain age, they start working against your body in ways that nobody ever warned you about. Not because you are doing something obviously wrong, but because your body has quietly and significantly changed, and your food knowledge was never updated to match those changes. That is exactly what we are going to fix today. I am going to show you the hidden breakfast triggers that are secretly spiking and crashing your blood sugar every single morning. I am going to show you the common mistakes that seniors make every day without realizing it. Mistakes that are silently making fatigue, brain fog, and blood sugar problems worse over time. And I'm going to show you the simple fixes that do not require expensive treatments, dramatic diet changes, or giving up everything you love. Once you understand what I'm about to share, you will never look at your morning meal the same way again. Let me start with something very basic, because it is important to understand what is actually happening inside your body every morning when you eat. When you eat food, your body breaks it down into glucose, which is essentially sugar. That glucose enters your bloodstream. Your pancreas, which is a small organ sitting just behind your stomach, releases a hormone called insulin. Insulin acts like a key that unlocks your cells and allows that glucose to enter and be used as energy. This is a perfectly designed system. It works beautifully when everything is functioning correctly. But here's what changes after 60. And this is something I explain to my patients very carefully because most of them have never heard it put this simply before. Your pancreas becomes slower at releasing insulin. Your cells become less sensitive to insulin, meaning the key does not work as smoothly as it used to. Your liver, which also plays a critical role in regulating blood sugar, becomes less efficient at this job. And your overall metabolism, the speed at which your body processes everything you eat, has slowed down considerably compared to your younger years. So the exact same breakfast that your body handled easily and efficiently at age 40, at age 65, it creates a completely different internal reaction. Your blood sugar rises faster than it should. It rises higher than it should, and then it crashes harder than it should. And that crash, that dramatic fall in blood sugar after a meal, that is what makes you feel exhausted. That is the fog. That is the heaviness. That is the sleepiness that hits you 45 minutes after you finish eating. In clinical terms, this is called reactive hypoglycemia, a blood sugar crash that happens in direct response to eating. And in my experience working with older adults, this is far more common than most people realize. The dangerous part is that most seniors never identify what is causing it. They just feel tired. They blame age. They take a nap. And the cycle continues day after day while the damage quietly builds inside. Now, let me walk you through the specific habits and food patterns that are making this happen every single morning. And I want you to listen carefully because some of these are going to genuinely surprise you. The first one is something that sits on almost every breakfast table: white bread, white roti, or plain paratha eaten first thing in the morning on a relatively empty stomach. White flour, what we commonly call maida, has almost zero fiber. And fiber is the critical element that slows down how fast sugar enters your bloodstream. Without fiber, the sugar from white bread or white roti enters your blood almost immediately after you swallow it. Not slowly, not gradually. It floods in like a wave. I always explain this to my patients using a simple image. Think of your blood vessels as small water channels designed to handle a steady, manageable flow. Now imagine someone suddenly opening a massive dam upstream. All of that water comes rushing through at once. The channels cannot handle it. Everything overflows. And then, when that flood passes, everything drops dramatically. That is exactly what happens to your blood sugar when you eat white flour on an empty stomach after 60. The spike goes up fast. Your pancreas panics and releases a large burst of insulin. The sugar drops sharply, and you feel the crash. You feel the exhaustion, you feel the fog, and you blame it on everything except the roti sitting on your plate. The fix is not complicated. Add fiber to your breakfast. Switch to whole wheat roti instead of white. Add vegetables on the side. Even something small like a handful of salad or a few slices of cucumber creates enough of a buffer to slow down that sugar absorption meaningfully. Slower absorption means no spike. No spike means no crash. And no crash means your energy stays steady and consistent throughout the morning. Now, here is the one that I know is going to hit close to home for most people watching this. Sweet chai. The morning cup of chai with 2 or 3 spoons of sugar that has been a part of your daily routine for possibly your entire adult life. It feels harmless. It feels like tradition. It feels comforting and warm and completely innocent. But here is what I need you to understand about what is actually happening when you drink sweet chai on an empty stomach after 60. That sugar, with absolutely nothing else in your stomach to slow it down, no food, no fiber, no protein, goes directly into your bloodstream almost instantly. Your blood sugar spikes within minutes. Your pancreas releases a large reactive burst of insulin. The sugar drops sharply, and this entire damaging cycle completes itself before you have even finished your breakfast. In my clinical experience, I have seen patients whose morning fatigue disappeared almost entirely simply by changing when they drank their chai and how much sugar was in it. That is how powerful this one habit is. Think of it like throwing a lit match into completely dry paper. There is no resistance, immediate reaction, fast flame, and then nothing left. That is your blood sugar responding to sweet chai on an empty stomach. Over months, over years, this pattern repeated every single morning quietly damages your insulin sensitivity. It contributes directly to prediabetes and eventually type 2 diabetes. It drives inflammation inside your blood vessels, all from something that felt like just a harmless morning cup of tea. You do not have to give up chai, but try eating something solid first, even a small piece of whole wheat toast or one boiled egg, before you drink it. That creates a layer in your stomach that completely changes how fast that sugar hits your blood, or gradually reduce the sugar over a few weeks. Your taste adjusts, and your body will respond in ways you will actually feel. Now, I want to tell you about something that is going to genuinely shock many people watching this, Because this next mistake comes disguised as a healthy, responsible choice. Fruit juice in the morning. Many seniors and many of their well-meaning family members have made the switch to fresh juice, orange juice, apple juice, mango juice. Natural, fresh, full of vitamins. Surely this is the healthy option, and I want to be very clear. Whole fruit is genuinely healthy and I recommend it to my patients regularly. But juice is a completely different story, and this difference matters enormously after 60. When you remove the fiber from fruit and drink only the liquid, you are creating concentrated sugar water. Even if it is completely natural, even if you squeezed it yourself moments ago. One glass of orange juice contains the sugar from approximately 3 to 4 whole oranges, with none of the fiber, none of the slow release protection that fiber provides when you eat the actual fruit. I ask my patients this question: could you sit down and eat 4 whole oranges in 2 minutes? Of course not. It would take time. You would chew. The fiber would slow everything down. Your body would absorb the sugar gradually and safely, but one glass of juice? You drink it in 30 seconds, and all of that sugar hits your bloodstream at once with absolutely nothing to slow it down. For someone over 60 with reduced insulin sensitivity and a slower metabolic response, this creates one of the fastest blood sugar spikes possible first thing in the morning. The crash that follows causes severe fatigue, headaches, irritability, and difficulty concentrating that can last for hours. I have had patients who experienced mild heart palpitations from this kind of blood sugar crash and spent months thinking it was a heart problem. It was the glass of juice on their breakfast table. Eat the whole fruit instead. The fiber inside the fruit changes everything about how your body processes the sugar within it. If you love juice, reduce it to a very small portion and always pair it with something containing protein. That single combination dramatically changes your blood sugar response. Now, I want to talk about something that most people have genuinely never considered before, and this is one of the most important points I make with my patients over 60. It is not just about which foods you eat. It is about what you eat them together with. Many seniors have a breakfast that looks like this: plain paratha, white bread with jam, biscuits with chai, or a bowl of rice. All carbohydrates, no protein, no healthy fat, no fiber alongside it. And here's why this is a serious problem after 60. Protein and fat, when eaten alongside carbohydrates in the same meal, act as natural brakes on your blood sugar. They slow down digestion. They create a gradual, controlled release of glucose into your bloodstream instead of a sudden flood. Without them present in the same meal, there is nothing regulating the speed at which sugar enters your blood. I explain it to my patients this way. Think of carbohydrates as the accelerator in a car, and protein and fat as the brakes. When you eat only carbohydrates with no protein or fat, you are pressing the accelerator hard with no brakes at all. The blood sugar races up fast, and then the emergency brakes engage from the inside as your body overreacts with a surge of insulin, and you crash hard. This pattern repeated every single morning is one of the primary hidden drivers of insulin resistance in older adults. And insulin resistance, as I tell every patient who sits across from me, is the direct road to type 2 diabetes. It also drives chronic fatigue, poor concentration, emotional low points, and persistent hunger throughout the day. The fix is genuinely simple. Add protein to every breakfast. 2 boiled eggs with your roti. A small bowl of plain yogurt alongside your meal. A handful of unsalted nuts with your morning chai. These are not complicated additions. They do not require preparing a separate meal, but they completely transform how your blood sugar behaves after you eat and how you feel for the next several hours. But wait, because this next part becomes even more serious, and in my experience, this is the piece that most people completely miss. How fast you eat your breakfast matters just as much as what you eat. When you eat quickly, large amounts of food enter your digestive system all at once. Your gut does not have adequate time to signal your brain or your pancreas properly. Sugar absorption accelerates dramatically. For a younger body, this is manageable. The system responds quickly enough to compensate. But after 60, the hormones that regulate fullness, digestion speed, and blood sugar response work significantly more slowly. They need more time to do their job, and when you eat fast, you are simply not giving them that time. In research I have reviewed on this specific point, people who ate the exact same breakfast, same food, same quantity, but ate it slowly over 20 minutes versus quickly in under 5 minutes, showed dramatically different blood sugar spikes afterward. The slow eaters had significantly lower post-meal blood sugar levels, not because of what they ate, only because of the speed at which they ate it. Chewing your food properly, putting your spoon down between bites, allowing yourself at least 15 to 20 minutes to finish breakfast. These are free adjustments. They cost nothing. They require no special food, no prescription, no expense. And they can meaningfully reduce your blood sugar spikes every single morning starting tomorrow. Now, I want to address something before we continue because this next point challenges a belief that I see very commonly among my senior patients, a belief about what it means to be disciplined and careful with your health. Have you ever skipped breakfast thinking it would help your blood sugar or help manage your weight? Many seniors do this. They delay eating until late morning or noon. They feel that eating less means less blood sugar, less problem. It sounds completely logical, but the reality is the complete opposite. And this is one of the most critical things I want you to take away from today. When you skip breakfast, your body interprets the absence of food as a stress situation. Cortisol, your body's primary stress hormone, rises during the morning hours. Your liver, responding to the absence of incoming nutrition, begins releasing its own stored glucose directly into your bloodstream. So your blood sugar is actually rising, even without you eating a single thing. And when you finally do eat later in the morning or at noon, you are hungry. Often very hungry. You eat more than you normally would. You eat faster. And your blood sugar spikes far higher than it ever would have if you had simply eaten a small, balanced breakfast on time. I have seen this pattern in patient after patient. They come to me with high fasting blood sugar numbers on their tests. They tell me they barely eat in the mornings, thinking that is helping. And I have to explain to them gently that the skipping itself is part of what is driving those numbers up. Think of your body like a fire that needs steady, consistent fuel to burn efficiently and safely. A small, regular supply of good fuel keeps the fire burning at a controlled, steady temperature. But if you starve the fire for hours and then throw a massive pile of fuel on it all at once, the fire explodes out of control and then dies down completely. Seniors who regularly skip breakfast show consistently higher fasting blood sugar levels over time, more unpredictable blood sugar swings throughout the day, and a significantly higher long-term risk of developing type 2 diabetes. And they were trying to be careful. They thought skipping breakfast was the responsible, health-conscious choice. That is one of the saddest misunderstandings I encounter in my work with older adults. Eat breakfast within 1 to 2 hours of waking up. It does not need to be large or elaborate. A small, balanced meal with protein, a moderate amount of healthy carbohydrate, and some fat is far better than nothing at all. Your body needs that morning signal to begin functioning correctly and regulating itself properly throughout the day. And here's the final point I want to share today because almost nobody talks about this one, and it connects everything together. Your morning blood sugar is not only shaped by what you eat for breakfast, it is profoundly shaped by what you ate the night before and what time you ate it. Many seniors eat their main meal late at night. 9, 10, sometimes 11 at night. A full dinner. Rice, roti, dal, curry. Sometimes something sweet afterward. And then they go to sleep within an hour or less. For a younger body, this food is processed through the night. The metabolism continues working, the liver keeps regulating, and by morning, most of it has been managed. But after 60, the overnight metabolism runs at significantly reduced capacity. The liver's ability to regulate blood glucose through the night is considerably weaker than it was decades earlier. So if you eat a heavy meal at 10 at night and sleep at 11, your body is still actively struggling to process that meal at 2 in the morning, at 4 in the morning, sometimes right up until you wake up. And when you wake up, your blood sugar system is already under stress, already behind, already working overtime from the night before. And then breakfast arrives on top of that existing stress, and your numbers climb higher than they ever would if your body had been able to fully rest and reset overnight. This is why some of my patients wake up with already elevated blood sugar readings before eating anything. The late dinner was the hidden cause all along, and what the test recorded in the morning and what led to increased medication was a direct consequence of what happened at the dinner table the night before. Try to finish your last meal at least 2 to 3 hours before you sleep. If you must eat late, keep it very light. Something your body can process comfortably through the night, a small bowl of yogurt, a piece of fruit, a light soup. What you choose to eat at night is directly determining how your blood sugar behaves the very next morning. Let me bring everything together now, because I want these points to stay clearly with you. White flour on an empty stomach causes a fast, uncontrolled blood sugar spike. Always add fiber and protein to slow it down. Sweet chai on an empty stomach delivers sugar into your blood with nothing to stop it. Eat something solid first or reduce the sugar gradually over time. Fresh juice without fiber is concentrated sugar water. Eat the whole fruit instead and protect your blood sugar response. Eating only carbohydrates with no protein or fat removes the natural breaks your body needs. Always add an egg, yogurt, or a handful of nuts to your morning meal. Eating too fast accelerates sugar absorption beyond your body's ability to regulate it. Slow down, chew properly. Take at least 15 to 20 minutes for breakfast. Skipping breakfast raises your blood sugar through the cortisol stress response before you even take a single bite. Have a small balanced breakfast within 2 hours of waking. And late heavy dinners overload your overnight metabolism and leave your blood sugar system already stressed before morning even begins. Finish eating at least 2 to 3 hours before sleep. These are not complicated changes. They do not require expensive supplements or dramatic lifestyle overhauls. They are small, consistent, daily adjustments. But repeated every morning over weeks and months, they create a completely different trajectory for your blood sugar health, your energy levels, and your long-term well-being. And before we finish, I want to say something that I believe is genuinely important. This is not about fear. This is not about feeling anxious every time you sit down to eat. In all my years working with patients, I have seen what happens when people become afraid of food, and it never leads anywhere good. Food is nourishment. Food is comfort. Food is family and culture and one of life's most real and meaningful pleasures. None of that changes. What changes is understanding that after 60, your body has different needs, different timing requirements, different combinations that support it better now than before. Awareness, not fear. Small adjustments made consistently over time. That is what actually moves the needle on your health in a meaningful and lasting way. And as always, please speak with your own doctor about your specific situation. Your blood sugar numbers, your medications, your personal health history. What I share here is educational and research-based, but your doctor knows your individual case and their guidance matters deeply. Now, I want to ask you something, and I genuinely mean this. Which one of these surprised you the most today? Was it the fruit juice? Was it what a late-night dinner does to your blood sugar the very next morning? Or was it the skipping breakfast trap, when you genuinely believed you were being careful and disciplined with your health? Tell me in the comments below. And if you have ever experienced that heavy, foggy, exhausted feeling after breakfast and spent months or years not understanding why, share that too. Because someone else reading your comment right now might finally understand what has been silently happening to them. Your experience and your words genuinely matter here. If this video helped you understand something about your health that you did not understand before, then this channel is exactly where you need to be. Every week I break down real research-based health information, specifically for people over 60 in simple and clear language, without confusion, without unnecessary fear, and without trying to sell you anything. Just honest, research-backed information when it matters most. Subscribe so you do not miss what comes next. Because in the next video, I'm going to talk about something that affects blood sugar even more powerfully than food does, and most seniors have absolutely no idea it exists. Take care of yourself, stay informed, and I will see you in the next one.